Get the fuck in! Get the fuck in, baby! That's what I'm talking about. It's finished at Anfield South. Liverpool 1, Chelsea Football Club 0, and Liverpool for the 10th time lift the Carabao Cup. And whoa, hold on, what's going on? Oh,
all right,
no!
lads.
Oh!
Get in the fucking Reds! Yes!
Gav, my boy, where are you? Where are you, Gav?
I am outside May Duncan's in Liverpool, and I have to say that is better than Istanbul. I'm not going to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I think I've kind of gate crashed this, and I'm trying to get the angle. But honestly, that is the most happy I've ever been after a cup final, because we keep going on about if a player's missing. We keep going on about if a lad comes in, if a young lad comes in, what are we going to do? Is this lad as good as the other? Can he do this? Can he do that? Honestly, watch this game 75 minutes on. Watch all them lads come on the pitch and watch them absolutely dominate Chelsea to the point where Chelsea are playing on the fucking break with an 85 million Mudryk, Mudieke, I don't even know who the fuck he is, and all the other lads. It's honestly, it's the happiest I've fucking been in years, lads. And if you doubt this Liverpool team, fair enough. The football's not for you. It's simply not for you, because we're going to win the whole fucking lot. I'm telling you now, we're going to win the whole lot.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. You can tell that Gav thoroughly enjoyed the final. Kev, I presume you enjoyed that final as well?
I'm just turning myself upside down and all here now, yeah.
I think I aged myself 10 years in that 126-7 minutes. I was sobbing about when they were all stood in front of the fans at the end. I was just broke up. It was everything you wanted in a final. Tense, tight. Could have gone either way at one stage. But my fucking God. The balls that Klopp showed and the faith he showed in these kids. This is going to set us on such a massive platform for the next decade with these young fellas. They get this winning feeling early doors, and massive, huge. Some outstanding performances. Not one single player let anyone down. Nobody. There was 17 players used today, and every single fucking one of them were outstanding. Absolutely brilliant. I'm so over the fucking moon. Delighted. And
this is not the highest mountain, Kev, but this is a mountain.
No, I'm sorry. You had Sky tried to fuck it up for us. You had the PGMOL tried to rob us, and you had another Chelsea prick trying to break people's fucking legs, and we still come out on top.
There's fireworks going off in Liverpool right now. I'm just going to let you know.
Oh, man, over the fucking moon. Absolutely over the moon. Lost for words. Is outstanding.
Yeah.
Unbelievable team.
Yeah.
I'm with Gav on the Istanbul shout as well. That for a single achievement in a final, that's up there with anything this club's done. Anything.
Gav, we're going to have to probably let Gav get back to it, because it sounds like it might be a fun night out in Liverpool tonight. Gav, before you go, who's your man of the match?
Oh, Endo by an absolute country mile. I thought, like when I seen the team, I was like, look, that's what we have to do. There's just simply there's nothing more we can do. Salah's not there, Szoboszlai's not there, Nunes isn't there, Alisson isn't there, Trent isn't there, Jones isn't there, and you're kind of going, Jota isn't there, and the names literally reeled off. But do you know what? I went into this with a kind of, let the fucking lads do it, because there's so many years where in a League Cup where you win these rounds, you get to a semi-final, you might throw a couple of lads in the semi-final, but when it comes to the final, you throw the big lads in. But this was a real case of throw the fucking lads in that got you there. And it was kind of reverse, because I think our squad is so deep that you kind of didn't notice the League Cup squad going on as it went on. And you look at Conor Bradley, you look at McConnell, you look at Dans, you look at, Bobby Clark coming on. It was just, and I'm going to go now because of a point waiting for me, right? And I couldn't be arsed talking to you two pricks. But what I'm going to say is, right, and I mean that in the nicest possible sense, boy, because I love both of you equally, right? But, and not as much as me kids, but I love you equally. But what I'm going to say is, when it was in half time, full time, I could see people getting nervous around me, and it was like, relax. These lads know what they're at. They know what they're at. And to see them all come on from, I think it's 75 onwards, and Liverpool got better as the game went on. Chelsea, with all that squad, were restricted to playing on the break, and that's the truth. They were restricted to playing on the break. Nkunku on the break, Madueke on the break, Sterling on the break, Jackson on the break. Liverpool were fucking brilliant. But man of the match for me is Endo by an absolute country mile, because whatever was going on around him, he wasn't bothered. Who was beside him, behind him, in front of him, he won every ball. He won tackles. He played it who he needed to play it to. And you know what? It's nearly a shame to give a man of the match tonight. This honestly is a monumental victory for Liverpool Football Club. Not only Klopp, not only the players that are established, but the lads that come on tonight. It's lads, I can't overestimate it. And I'm a bit annoyed that I'm not there tonight to do a Sunday night show. I'm a bit annoyed that I'm not there to do a Monday night show, but I'll probably just drag it in as a Tuesday. I'll just drag it to a Tuesday and we'll talk about it. But honestly, if you don't believe in this team, and you don't believe that this team can go and win everything right now, or even this team will give you everything to win everything now, I don't know what to say to you. I really don't know what to say to you anymore. Look at them, enjoy them, adore them. They are off the charts fucking good. And this team is off the charts good. Liverpool are off the charts good. 1 trophy down, 3 more to chase. And you know what? Up the fucking Reds. That's all I've got to say on it.
I love it. Is there a show tonight? We got what?
No, there's no show tonight, because I'll tell you why. I'm on the piss. Keith's on the piss. Shawnee's on the piss. And Emmett's on the piss with me. But Emma has this thing where he falls asleep a lot. I have to tell you about it. It's really funny. He falls asleep a lot, and then he makes a massive attempt not to drop stuff, but continues to drop stuff. I've realised that in the last 24 hours. Emmett's going to watch this back and go, what is going on? But I've renamed him Dropsy. So keep it to yourself, because he won't watch this. So next Sunday he'll come around and his name will appear as Dropsy and not Emmett. Okay? That's a little spoiler for you. But lads, I'm going to let you go. I'm not going to steal anyone's thunder. Listen, go and enjoy the show. The fucking Reds are magic. The Reds are fucking magic. And yeah, just enjoy it. The Reds are amazing.
Absolutely brilliant. Thanks for coming on, boss man. Enjoy the city of Liverpool. It's going to be a fun night tonight for you and Emmett.
God help
I will.
Breathe.
So, Kev, where were we? Oh my. All right, let's get the housekeeping out of the way first. Obviously, we got footballprizes.co.uk. They have another prize up available for grabs for everybody. Limited number of tickets, a ton of instant prizes. Check that out. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Methinks they may have a League Cup winning prize in the works in the next couple of weeks and months. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Check out footballprizes.co.uk. Of course, our charity sponsors for this year, Fan Supporting Food Banks in Liverpool, which Gav and Emmett will have seen in and around the city tonight. Also, the Lighthouse in Dublin, which is a cafe providing warm meals for people that need it. And also, a friend of the show, Phil Casey, running 5 ridiculous endurance races to raise money for the Laura Lynn Hospice in Dublin. You'll find the links to all of those in the description of the show, whether you're watching live, watching back on YouTube, or checking out a podcast download later. Thank you for joining us. Hit the thumbs up button, because Kev, my boy, fuck me. That was nervy, Kev. That was a nervy match.
Yeah, that game had everything. It literally did. It was. I am blown away by so much of that performance, man. So much of that performance. I'm blown away by it. Hang on, let me just turn my phone off a sec, because it's just hopping like you wouldn't believe.
Did we win a cup or something, Kev? Come on.
I don't know. I'd be on. I mean, look, the lineups came out, and I'd be a liar if I didn't say that. And there's an awful lot of people who'd probably nod now and say, yeah. I say everyone's heart sank a small little bit. We saw the photos going around before the lineups were announced. You saw Mo, you saw Dom, you saw Darwin around. You was like, okay, fingers crossed. Hopefully, there's one of them will be on the bench. And then the lineups came out, and it was literally as you were for the Luton game, bar the 2 changes that we were expecting. And it was like, okay, roll your sleeves up and get on with it, because that's the squad. That's the squad that has to go and do it. And, 2 minutes of feeling sorry for myself, and the rest of the next 58 minutes soaking it all in. And couldn't wait to get it started. And yeah, listen, unreal, absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, I think if you're approaching it as a neutral or don't have deeply red tinted glasses on, you look at the two lineups that dropped right there, and you looked at the sheer number of players that were missing from Liverpool's starting 11, and you have to put Chelsea as odds on, or even. Chelsea. Archie Doolan says here, this is a £1 billion club. This is a £1 billion club, and we started with Connor Bradley, Harvey Elliott, Ryan Gravenberch. Not bad. Kvin Kelleher in goal. And we will be talking about Kvin Kelleher because that's a shout for man of the match right there. What a time to get your first clean sheet in his last, I don't even know how many appearances, but it was the same team as Luton, Kev. And it kind of went a bit like Luton. We had our chances in the first half and we just couldn't finish our dinner. And you thought maybe at halftime we'll get the necessary reaction from the team. But Luis Diaz he burns and then he just kind of fizzles out towards the end.
He ran himself into the ground, didn't he?
There's no doubt about that.
He left absolutely nothing on the pitch. And I think there were times in that first half where I thought he's managing himself here. There were certain things where he knew he wasn't going to get a ball. He just stopped. And he didn't want to waste energy. He knew that if this goes all the way, he's going to be the one that has to stay on. And, I thought we started really well. We were playing some really good stuff, controlled the game, controlled the narrative of the game. We dominated the ball. We had the better chances. At some point, I'm going to take notes for this stuff, but it just felt like it was a matter of time for the first 20 minutes of that first half. And that was as good a controlled performance as I've seen for a while, given the amount of changes and given the type of game that we were playing. We played really well, managed the situation well, got everyone involved. And, it was just the frustration with me set in after the first couple of minutes, really, with Ben Chilwell going through, I think it was Connor Bradley. Where Connor Bradley was through to get into the 6-yard, get into the penalty box, and he just took him out. And you saw the way the referee was going to referee this game then, because that was as clear a booking as you're going to see. And he gave nothing. He gave a foul, and that was it. And I thought, you absolute bollocks, because all you're doing now is inviting silly challenges all over the pitch if you're not going to clamp down from the off. And sure enough, that's what happened. I haven't watched the 45 minutes this season where I've been more frustrated with a refereeing performance. And it all comes from this narrative of I must keep it 11v11 at all costs. And I'm not booking anyone early. I'm letting the game flow. It's absolute codswallop. It was an absolute joke of a performance. And
well, I'm going to say, Kev, I'm happy you mentioned this because I wrote this down at halftime. So I mute all the chats I'm in because I'm taking notes during the game and I don't want other people's opinions of the game to kind of influence what I'm going to say when I come on and do a show afterwards. And at halftime in our Telegram group, Prakhar Singh made a comment pointing out that it feels like the comments that Pochettino made about he doesn't want the referees to be too influenced and too biased by the Klopp is leaving Liverpool last season, last dance, hurrah sort of narrative. He didn't want that to influence the referees, and that worked. That Pochettino was able to play those mind games with the referee to get in his head because he was not calling anything. The fact that Moises Caicedo finished that game without a yellow card is fucking mind-boggling. But the first big chance, Kev, happens 8 minutes in. There's a nice play from Elliott, gets the ball out wide. He crosses it across the field. Robertson puts another cross back in. Diaz and Gakpo are both at the back post, and Diaz hungry for goals, hungry to make the difference, to be that guy that steps up in this game. He's never going to get over top of that ball to keep it underneath to keep it on target. Gakpo standing right behind him, and it's just like, oh, why? All right, that's okay. We can snatch at a few chances, but we're creating things here. And then maybe the standout moment of the first half, with the exception of what comes immediately following it, on the 20th minute, tell me I'm pronouncing it right, but Kelleher, what a save. What an unbelievable save. So if I have it right here, Chelsea break down the right, ball comes in, it's crossed in. I'm not sure if it's it might be Gusto that crosses it in. Nicholas Jackson puts a foot out to it. I don't know if he gets a touch on it or not. Sterling is there with the ball. I don't know why he doesn't try to take a first time or second time shot with it. Instead, he tries to take an extra touch. Connor Bradley's there to close him down, and the ball falls to Cole Palmer, and he's, I don't know, how far out? 6 yards? Maybe 6 yards? He catches it with power, and the strength of the hand at Kelleher, it's all you can ask for.
It was an unbelievable save, and the clearance then, I think, from Endo to get the second block in, outstanding. But that was the first. I think Kelleher made 10 saves in that game. A lot of them really, really big saves, and he had really big moments in that game. That was an outstanding save. It was pure gut instinct from him to go with the way the ball. He thought the way the ball was going. Strong arm, got it back into an area where someone had to get a block on it, and Endo didn't stop. Endo made sure that he was the one, dived in, took the gamble, took the risk, but he made sure that there was no clean effort going to be made for a tap in, and we got the ball away. But that was the warning shot. You know, up until then, Chelsea had done the sweet sum of fuck all, and you know, we were bossing everything. But that was the warning shot that on the break they can be dangerous. And you know, from then on, it was a case of mind the back door, but trust. An awful lot of trust was involved today. Yeah. You know, it was just he had the game that he's been threatening to have for a long time. Gravenberch. Yep. He had. I think Carragher made the point in commentary. You wouldn't know that Alisson wasn't playing. It was that level of performance. And look, I think it's his 14th game this season, and he just looks rock solid. He looks absolutely rock solid, and deserves all the accolades that are going to come his way. He was absolutely unbelievable today.
Yeah, it's I saved this comment from Bob Paddock early in the show. It might even been before the show started because, of course, we were a little delayed with the game going to extra time. But Endo and Virgil kept it all together, and that's going to be kind of a running theme of the entire show, talking about this match as far as I'm concerned, because I thought those two senior players that have seen some shit before, when we end up with, I think somebody pointed out, we ended up with 7 academy players on the pitch at the end of the game. We had our veteran players stand up and make themselves counted. It's absolutely unbelievable. And where was that? Hold on a second. Ashley L., my absolute favorite person in the entire chat, says Kelleher hasn't conceded a goal in either of his 2, I think that should be 3 finals for Liverpool, all versus Chelsea, despite facing 13 shots on target and a 3.9 XG, which is a real stat on target.
That's massive.
It is. I mean, it really is, Kev, because when Alisson picked up that injury and we knew that we were going to have Kelleher come in, and so Nottingham Forest makes that late deadline day bid of 15 million, a derisory offer for Kelleher, and Liverpool naturally turn it down. But he hadn't had the best season up to this point. So he comes in for Alisson, and I don't believe we've had a clean sheet since. That we've been conceding goals. They haven't been Kelleher's fault, but we haven't been keeping a clean sheet. So to come out in a League Cup final, in a showpiece match at Wembley, and get that clean sheet, and not just by accident, at all. Kelleher was fantastic today. He was so good. But I mean, we got to go from good to bad, because it doesn't seem like we would be talking about a Liverpool match if 3 minutes later, all of a sudden we have 2 players down from collisions on the ball. Gravenberch and Gakpo both go down. Gakpo jumps right back up. Gravenberch stays down, and they show the replay of it. And Moises Caicedo, hold on, what was the actual quote from the VAR room that the comms that I was watching passed along was, accidental slipping motion. So it was deemed to be an accidental slipping motion, which means that by that logic, if that's an accidental slipping motion and is not worthy of either a foul, a yellow card, or a straight red card, that means that the slipping motion that Curtis Jones had when he went over the ball against Tottenham and caught Yves Bissouma was a purposeful slipping motion. Like, the litany of mind-boggling refereeing decisions in this game really got off to a roaring start in the first 25 minutes of this game, because how is it not a foul or a yellow card at... Yeah. Chris Golding points out, he says, but Matt, Caicedo was looking away, for fuck's sakes. You've seen that given a red card, right, Kev? I mean, you're the one that said it was a penalty in the last game that we did, so I'm hoping you've got my back here.
You saw yesterday in the Brighton game, Billy Gilmour sent off for virtually identical thing. And it was brought to my attention at halftime in the game by a Brighton fan. I did a poll. I put up a poll on Talkin Kop Twitter feed at halftime. And I just asked 3 simple questions. Red, yellow, did the ref get it right? And the first comment underneath it was a link to the Billy Gilmour sending off yesterday. How it's not a foul is beyond me. The more you see it, the worse it is. Yeah, the more you see it, the worse it gets. The fact that he had his leg planted compounds it. And he literally folded like a deck of cards. And if you're telling me that Moses Caicedo didn't know what he was doing, you're having a laugh. He knew exactly.
Chris Golding is of the exact same opinion. He says he knew exactly.
He knew exactly what he was doing. And my first instinct when I saw that was that's his season done. And we don't know the extent of the injury. We don't know. I mean, the truth is, we saw him in the celebrations at the end. He was out on the pitch with everyone jumping around like an absolute lunatic.
Yeah.
The hope is that it's literally his body fell with the momentum, and it looks worse than what it is. That's the only hope.
Well, it's the same hope that we have for Curtis Jones, because it's not exactly the same, but it's reminiscent of the way that Jones went over on his ankle against Luton in midweek. And as Ashley L points out, don't worry, Moises Caicedo. There's only 7 more years left on your contract. I'm sure it will fly by. And I mean, it's not great.
The VR can't go back and say, it's a yellow card.
Yeah. They're
not allowed to, and I think that personally, I've always said that that's an absolute nonsense. If the ref misses something, that's a foul and should be a yellow card. Go back and fucking book him. Otherwise, what's the point of you? If they're just literally going to use it for red cards, look at all of the stuff that they're missing. That was a horrific tackle, and nobody will ever convince me otherwise that he didn't know exactly what he was doing. Didn't know exactly. This is why I'm delighted. More so, that I'm delighted that we won this today, because if I said anything different, it would have come across as sour grapes. It was a disgusting tackle.
Yeah, and it would be sour grapes, Kev, because those grapes taste like shit. Yeah. And there's an even worse one that we're going to get onto. Joe Gomez comes on for Ryan Gravenberch, and to the complete and utter surprise of my comms team, who clearly don't know a lot about what Connor Bradley did on loan at Bolton Wanderers last season, were blown away that Connor Bradley went up to play right wing as opposed to right midfield. So we got Elliott dropping from right wing back into the right side at 8. Gomez came on at right back. Bradley went up top to replace Gravenberch.
Yeah, I think we lost the control of the game then for about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
It was a get to halftime job at that point.
Yeah.
It was get to halftime.
At that point, the changes came. Chelsea grew into the game. We kind of went 4-3, but Bradley looked a bit lost in that position on the right wing, where I was hoping that it would literally revert to a 4-4-2 or something, where he just plays an orthodox right mid, and maybe Harvey would come over and play on the left as a left mid, cutting inside, allowing Robertson to go on the overlap. Joe Gomez sits, and you kind of revert into your normal back 3 shape that way, but you attack more down the left hand side. But look, it was they grew into the game then for a little bit. Weren't exactly clinical or weren't.
Well, they got the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, but it was still first instinct I thought it was way off. It was closer than what I thought.
When I saw it live, Kev, I thought he bent that run perfectly. And it was close.
I thought he was a lot further off than what he actually was. It was closer than what it looked. It was a brilliant cross. It was a brilliant cross to find Sterling, and there was nothing anyone could do about it. That cross was inch perfect. But I was really relaxed about it. But saying that, after seeing the Gravenberch tackle, thought they're going to screw us here. Yep, because you're basically.
You had no idea, O'Sullivan. You had no idea how hard they were going to screw us.
Yeah, I honestly thought we're going to get screwed here, but no, it was. In fairness, it was closer than what I thought. Yeah. But it was just a gut instinct. The way he got away, I thought that looked off. It just you watch enough football over the years. You get a gut feeling as to what's off and what's not.
If you're in that much space, you have to have done something that was against the rules.
Yeah.
Because he was wide open. Jackson does what we think initially might be well against Ibu Konate, which was a running battle all night. He crosses it over, and of all people you do not want to ever see score against Liverpool Football Club, Raheem Sterling might be at the very tippy top of that list. I have he's close, please, offside, ? Phew. So there we go. And this is at 32 minutes. I wrote can't go behind in this one because
that's the best comment I've seen.
I'm presuming it's this one from Red Steve.
Yeah.
The PGMOL have released an official statement that says we would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those pesky kids, which is we missed you when you were gone, Red Steve. We missed you when you were gone. 36 minutes, Kev. I had to note this one because it was a pretty mundane piece of play. And then Alexis McAllister picks the ball up at the right back position and plays one of the most insanely dangerous passes across the top of our own box I have ever seen. A little bit of shit may have come out of me on that one because it just felt like we can't make a mistake. Like it was really one of those games where you cannot afford to make a mistake at all. And it was just like, stop playing with fire. Andy Robertson gets in. There's a cutback to Cole Palmer that Robertson's in the way to block that out. We get into halftime only after somehow when Ben Chilwell and Connor Bradley come together on the sidelines, and Ben Chilwell is pushing anybody in a red top that he can see. Cody Gakpo comes in, backing up his teammates, doing quite well, gives a shove to Ben Chilwell, and somehow out of all of it, Connor Bradley gets a yellow card. I didn't quite understand.
He's done absolutely nothing wrong apart from get an elbow down the back of the head while Chilwell was on the ground. He did absolutely nothing. But it's just a standard. Well, he started it. You were involved. You're both getting a booking. And I think you're getting your card out for that.
Yeah.
You got a guy potentially with a broken fucking leg, and you're getting your card out for a bit of handbags.
That's literally what I wrote down. Was just handbags at halftime. It was just
the worst of it,
a little pushing.
You go back to what I said about the first few minutes. Chilwell should have been off then. Because there's no doubt in my mind he should have been booked in the first few minutes when he took out Connor Bradley running into the box. I think it was Connor Bradley or Harvey Elliott. It was one of the two. Took him out after about 3 minutes gone, 3 or 4 minutes gone. That would have been his second yellow. They'd have been down to 10. And you're playing a different game. That's what really boiled me. The fact that that's what he took his card out for. And as usual, the pundits on Sky, in bed with the PGMOL, let the referee off with an absolute blessing that at halftime, he's done a good job. He's handled the game well. He's let the game flow. I swear, I'm really biting through my tongue to say what I really think.
Well, don't do that. I mean, Chris Bracky backs you up here. He says far too much Mike Dean and Neville interaction on comms, which, as much as it pains me to have lost Peter Drury from the international feed, made a straight up trade, Peter Drury for Martin Tyler on the international feed. So now I have to deal with Martin Tyler comms, and I don't get the joy of Peter Drury comms. I am so happy I don't have to deal with things like Mike Dean and Gary Neville having a moan interaction on the comms. Out of my halftime thoughts, Kev, the very first thing I wrote down was ref lost a bit of the run of the game. To me, that was the biggest takeaway. Caicedo should be on a yellow.
Understatement of the fucking day.
Yeah. Chilwell should have been on a yellow card before he got one. Shades the first half against Luton, and a massive save from Kvin Kelleher. Again, that's how I summed up the first half when I took my 15 minutes.
We needed halftime, just basically to reorganize. You know, it was we grew back into it for the last 5 minutes of the half, but in general, you could tell from the good start that we had, Chelsea came back in and had a spell. We got back into it again the last 5 minutes or so, but in general, I think we needed.
You're right. Connor Bradley had a really good chance on 44 minutes. I missed that one. Diaz and Elliott link up really well down the left-hand side. The ball gets crossed back into the box. It ends up with Levi Colwill putting in a pretty big block on Connor Bradley, but he should do better with that. But I mean,
I think a bit more experience. He shifts that to the side and rifles it. But at the end of the day, you're in a League Cup final at Wembley, and you can, it's the safe option. He just wanted to get a shot away, get something away, and you never know. But a bit more experience under his belt, and he takes that to the side and he rifles it into the top of the net, and you're going in 1-0.
Well, I can tell you what is not going to happen is I don't see a single Liverpool fan of sound mind and body getting on Connor Bradley's back over today's game, because
he was very good.
I mean, it's going to, when we get towards the end of the game, we are going to be waxing lyrical about people whose names you probably wouldn't have known 18, 24 months ago. And that says so much for our team. Were you confident at halftime, Kev? Because I'm not going to lie, at halftime, I got the distinct, acrid whiff of penalties off of this game.
No, I was still confident because I thought we've created enough half chances that as long as we keep playing, as long as we got back to playing and controlling the game, that we will create another chance. And you hope that you take it. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the same Chelsea side that got a draw against Man City. It was the exact same 11. They got a draw against Man City last week. But in truth, Man City should have rattled 4 or 5 past them. Haaland missed an absolute glut of chances. And we weren't ruthless enough in the chances that we did have in the first half. We should have taken this game out of the equation at halftime with the amount of half-decent chances that we did have. But I just felt that something will come. I was looking at Diaz and Gakpo thinking something will fall for you. It's just a case of will you take it? But I understand. I mean, halftime, Chris saying there he had the feeling of dodgy decision would screw us. I had that in the back of my head as well.
I don't know. That feels like revisionist history. That feels like revisionist history.
It's not, because I've got the text messages to prove it.
Great podcast, by the way.
For the first time ever, I got my full tinfoil hat on.
Ooh, an aluminum haberdasher was visited.
It was literally going. I honestly thought we were going to get screwed. I really did. I saw in some way, shape, or form that they're going to contrive to screw us. And
okay, well let's just get right to it, Kev. Before that, the only thing of note that I really have is Chelsea have a break where Enzo Fernandez tries an elaborate back heel instead of laying the ball off to a wide open Conor Gallagher, who almost certainly would have scored. And then Elliott has a nice volley that's saved. We get on to the 59th minute. Conor Gallagher wipes out Alexis McAllister. Absolutely no card. I pegged it at about 32 yards left of center. Andy Robertson throws an in-swinger in. Virgil van Dijk, power. Chilwell with a handful of jersey and 0% hope. Header back across the keeper who has no chance. A VAR check. That's what my notes read. Because when I watched that, for the life of me, Kev O'Sullivan, I couldn't see what are they looking at. Virgil's onside by 3 or 4 bodies. There's no question that Virgil van Dijk is onside. And when the ball comes off of his head, when the next attacking action happens, There's nobody else around him except for Ben Chilwell, who looks like a child up against a full-sized man. I've never seen a goal reverse for that. I might have missed one. I mean, the Rajives of the chat that watch every single game across every single league, every single weekend might give me multiple examples. I don't understand, Kev. What the fuck did they chalk it off for?
I think Manchester United had one chalked off with Harry Maguire for the same thing. Basically, Endo blocked off Colwell. Colwell was running back in. Endo stood still.
Yeah,
blocked off.
Endo has to occupy space. He has to.
Yeah.
He's
once because he was coming from Endo was offside when the ball was played. So as soon as he blocks off Colwell would have been defending the area that Van Dijk headed the ball from. Endo became active, and that's why they chalked it off. Don't shoot the messenger.
I'm going to shoot the messenger, Kev. You're
a
long way away, so it almost certainly will fall harmlessly in the Atlantic. But
that's why it was disallowed. But you will see that goal given and that set piece defended exactly that way in every single game from now until the end of the season, and you will not see a foul given. Or if you do, it'll be a very rare thing. That defending and set piece of attacking it will happen every game. And
it's literally the game plan of a half a dozen teams in the Premier League. Brentford, West Ham, like so many teams set up players in obviously offside positions because players, humans, things have to occupy a physical space in their environment. That's how you are a thing, is by occupying fucking space. Endo can't get out of the way. He's not making himself bigger. That's just a screenplay. And even in games, in sports that have less physical contact than football, I'm looking at you basketball, where you're allowed even less physical play. A player is allowed to stand where they're currently standing and block the space off for the defender. Levi Colwell doesn't have some sort of God-given right to go in the area that Endo's standing in just because he's in an offside position. I am so happy we won this game that we don't have to be fucking screaming about this, even though I might actually currently be screaming about it. It's just, like, honestly, Kev, I didn't think they initially said they're checking offside for Gakpo. And it was like, I don't even think Gakpo was involved in that at all.
Gakpo wasn't anywhere near it. As soon as Mike Dean come on the comms and started talking about the block, then you just knew that's... As soon as Mike Dean come on and started talking about it, Gary Neville was already on commentary earlier in the game, calling for exactly that to happen, that we should be looking at our set pieces, get a blocker for Van Dijk so that Virgil can get a clear run and attack the ball. Every side sets up those set pieces exactly like that. Now, if they're going to suddenly be consistent and start calling that all the time, that's fine. John.
Okay, Bracky's got your back. Don't worry about it. Bracky's got your back.
No, I'm just saying that goal should have stood. Matt, what you're talking about with the screen of basketball, the screen of basketball isn't called a foul as long as the player doesn't move.
Or make themselves bigger. You can't put your arms out.
You have to literally. I remember playing basketball as a kid.
Exactly.
You have to do that.
You cross your arms at your chest.
But
exactly.
Endo did reach out to grab him to stop him. But John made the point in the chat that he wasn't going to get there. That doesn't matter. That doesn't come into the equation. It was literally in the area that they were looking at.
That's horseshit. If the NFL doesn't call pass interference with an ass, like in the NFL, they will not call pass interference on a play when the receiver cannot get there. It can't be a foul if you were never going to get to the ball. And Colwell was never going to get to the ball. People the Mouse also points out what I saw is that Ben Chilwell, full handful of Virgil's shirt. But I guess because it was offside, you can break a guy's ACL and it doesn't matter. Anything after offside literally doesn't exist. We learned that in the Everton match when Pickford broke Virgil in half. Virgil. Oh, Virgil. He's so back. I mean, okay, so that's infuriating, but we will move on from that. Shortly thereafter, Nkunku comes on for Sterling. The fucking snake goes again.
That's when I got worried.
Yeah,
Genuinely. That's when I got worried.
It's literally the exact opposite substitution of whenever Mudryk came on the field. Like, I knew that we were gassed and we were running out of a little bit of legs, and we'll get to it. I absolutely adored the substitution of Kwanzaa for Konate because of that fact, and Konate was on a yellow card. But Christopher Nkunku is a footballer. And
he's
I think, Kev, the reason why we're both worried when you see a Christopher Nkunku being subbed onto the pitch is because he's missed so much football since he moved to Chelsea that he hasn't played for Chelsea enough as a center forward to be ruined, because that's what that club does. That club takes promising center forwards and it fucking pickles them like a brine solution. So Christopher Nkunku will be falling, by the way. People of the Mouse, you're too nice. People of the Mouse just throws up a £4.99 super sticker, which doesn't come up on the screen for some reason, but in the chat you can see it says critical hit, which I love. That's a 20 on a dodecahedron dice for anybody that doesn't play Dungeons and Dragons. I love the generosity. People of the Mouse, YouTube will take their hit off of that, but Gav will donate whatever the channel gets into our fundraising campaign. And again, if you're checking us out, I see we got about 216 people in here watching now. Hit the like button and check out the links in the description for our charity fundraisers, because that's what this channel is all about, is adoring Liverpool Football Club, especially when they win trophies, but also trying to help out charities as best we possibly can. Kev, we get to 72 minutes, and Connor Bradley, as much as I thought he might become the hero after being moved up into the right wing position, is taken off for Bobby Clark. The first of a multitude of substitutions of, like I said, people whose names you would not have known 2 years ago.
Yeah. Look, the Connor Bradley substitution made more sense. It was pure legs. At the end, this is our third game in 8 days. He's been involved in every single one. So I always thought that he was only going to play 60 minutes, maybe 70 at a push, depending on how the game was playing. But Bobby Clark, we've seen him already making appearances off the bench, comfortable. You know, he slotted back into the middle of the park, comfortable on the ball, calm, measured, didn't take any risks, but you don't want him to. But he gets around the pitch and he's got energy. And that's exactly what we needed at the time. And it allowed Harvey to come back out into the right-hand side to try to get more involved. But at the same time, around this time, Chelsea were starting to really come into it. You know, it was a worrying part of the game, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it felt like from that point on, especially between all the referees' calls going against us, the Gravenberch injury, the Virgil goal being disallowed for a completely incomprehensible reason, it felt like fates were stacking up against us, Kev. And it's even worse when you look at the bench. And both teams' benches, I'll point this out, like Chelsea didn't have a strong bench. There was a couple Chelsea players on their bench that I've never heard of before. Alfie Gilchrist has made a couple of small substitute appearances here and there throughout the season. But there was a couple other players on there that I've never known. But I looked at their attacking options they had to bring on. They had Nkunku to bring on. They had Mudryk to bring on. They had Madueke to bring on. Our strength and depth was purely defensively. And when I say strength and depth, I mean Joe Gomez, a much maligned player for this team who many people would have literally driven to the airport to get him out of our club this past summer or the summer before that or the summer before that ad nauseum. And Jarrell Kwanzaa and Kostas Tsimikas, Chris Brack's favorite player. We did not really have a lot of game changers, Kev, when it came to getting a goal for us. So we bring on Clark for Bradley, and it was literally like, well, there goes some goal threat for us. What's going to happen here? What happens is Elliott moves back to the right wing position. Bobby Clark takes up the right 8 position. Joe Gomez continues at the right back position. It just wasn't good. Gallagher hits the post shortly thereafter. There's no way Kelleher was ever going to get there. No. I don't know if Gallagher was attempting that as a shot, or just to try to continue the ball along the line of Chelsea attacking players in the box?
It would have been a great goal. If it had
Yeah.
gone in, it would have been a great goal. But it was a brilliant ball by Palmer, and he was definitely going for goal. You know, he was definitely going for goal. Kelleher wouldn't have had a chance. It rattled the bar, rattled the post. But
Inside
I don't know
of
if
the
it was
post,
in
and
and
went
around.
right back into the danger area.
Yeah, I don't know if it was in and around that time that Cody Gakpo hit the post as well from the header. Was that further a bit? Was that a bit further back?
It might be.
That was about halfway through the second half. Yeah, that header where he was coming away from the ball, tried to get power back on it,
I know the chance you're talking about. I don't
Yeah.
know when that
But-
happened.
From then on, really, it was up until the changes, up until the next draft of changes. Chelsea were looking really threatening, really dangerous. Kelleher made some really, really good saves, you know, and there was some good last-ditch defending. There was, you know, it would have been very easy for people to panic and very easy for players to get frazzled and shit the bed. Basically, they didn't. They tried to play out from the back all the time. They rosetted it when it needed to be rosetted.
Mhm.
But in the main, we carried on trying to play, and that's to our credit. That's to the credit of the players that Klopp had on there, and that's just the way we play, you know. And that's embedded now, and you're seeing it embedded in everything from the under-23s, the under-18s, the under-16s, all the way down. This is how we play. This is how we press. And this is what you do in this situation, so that when you're called upon, you know what you're doing, and it's not a shock to the system, you know. And despite the occasion, and this is the occasion that at the start of this season, the vast majority of the players who finished that game today will have never believed in a million years that they would have been in that position. Never. Yet when they were called upon, they just knew exactly what to do and how to do it. And that's testament to Klopp, Linders, the entire coaching staff, the under-23 coaching staff, all the way down the line. They deserve huge credit for today.
Yeah. You've kind of stolen my grand overall arching thought. No, that's fine. I'm happy that we're on the same wavelength for it, but it just shows that the whole ethos, that the things that we love about Liverpool Football Club have completely seeped and permeated down through the very roots of the club. And it's now a club thing. It's not a first team thing. You know, it's not a senior squad thing. It's not a starting 11 thing. It's not a 2 or 3 superstars thing. It's not a manager with a massive ego thing. This is Liverpool. This is how we play football. And if we need to bring up a Jayden Danns from the academy, that the last time you saw him, he was 4'9" tall, and now he's 6.5 feet tall, he still knows how to play the way that we want to play. And it feeds into that conversation when you start having the inevitably necessary conversations about who's going to be the next Liverpool manager, that whoever is lucky enough to get the tap on the shoulder to take that job from Klopp, they are inheriting brilliance that we've done so well for the last almost a decade now, of building from not just the bottom up, but the top down, from every level simultaneously at the same time. The first, I had to make a note of it. Bobby Clark came on at 72 minutes, and by 82 minutes, I had to make a separate note that says, how good has Bobby Clark been so far? He went into a couple 1v1 challenges against, I don't know, let's just throw out some 100 million pound midfielders, Kev. Enzo Fernandez. Beat him 1v1. Moises Caicedo, beat him 1v1. A 19-year-old kid. Did I put down how many appearances that he's had?
9.
This was his 9th appearance for the Liverpool senior team. A League Cup final, going in against a £250 million midfield combination of Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. And he did not hide. I will say, I thought he flagged a little bit towards the end of extra time. It seemed like he was running out of legs when he had only been on the pitch for 50 minutes or so. But the kids, man, the fucking kids.
Yeah, the next lot of changes when they came, right? 87 minutes, made 3 changes, and you're thinking, he's going to do it. he's going to do it, isn't he? You know,
Well, what
it
other
would have been.
choice?
But it would have been easy for him to ride out the 90 minutes plus the injury time and just see it out and make changes at halftime, or at the start of extra time and make the adjustments. No, 87 minutes. Costas comes on for Andy Robertson. Still coming back from injury, Andy Robertson. James McConnell comes on for Alexis McAllister. Jaden Dance comes on for Cody Gakpo. Now, at the end of the day, with the injury to Ryan Gravenberch, we don't know what the hell it is. We're now in a situation where we have 3 fit centre mids. So you have to have one eye on the next fixture and one eye on the fixture after that and so on. So
surely not at 88 minutes of a cup final. Though,
but this is where the trust comes in with the likes of James McConnell who comes on. That you've made substitute appearances at Anfield. You've come off the bench. You know what's expected of you. You know how to do the role. You know, we've seen it from pre-season all the way through. Whenever he's been put onto the pitch and you ask him to put his foot on the ball and pass the ball, he can absolutely do it. So absolute faith in the kid, and Klopp has absolute faith in these kids. So Klopp is big picture in that moment, and that I think it was the right call. Give him a few minutes, give him the confidence of seeing it out, organize at the end of the game for extra time, and get into it then. You know, I thought it was a massive stroke. Give him a few minutes to get fit, to get around the pitch, get a sweat up, you know, get into the feel of the game and see it out. You get the confidence from seeing it out to get into full time, and then you take that confidence into extra time. I'll be 1 second. I got to do something.
Oh dear. Well, yeah. I mean, it takes us into the 85th minute. Another instance for Kevin Kelleher to step up and do his absolute best Alisson Becker impersonation. There is a picture that somebody did that I saw up on the Liverpool FC subreddit. I would highly recommend you checking it out. I don't have the IT aptitude to share that with all of you tonight. And it's a picture of Kevin with a big Alisson style beard on, because my Lord, Kevin comes off of his line and shuts down the 1v1 chance exactly as you would expect Alisson Becker to be doing for us. Conor Gallagher is wide open. He is wide open, and he should slot that in. I mean, Chris Brack says top saves from Kelleher. I mean, yeah, he was all over this match. This is just before we made our final raft of full-time, regular time substitutions. That's a chance for Chelsea. Chelsea, like the Chelsea fans, I'm sure there's a analogous Chelsea podcast that's going through this right now, and they've hit the 85th minute mark in their match rundown, and they're going, how is Conor Gallagher not scoring from there? Because he's wide open. He's wide open. Plays it a little bit too close to Kelleher. I haven't seen a lot of replays of it. There might not have been a lot of angle of him to start it wide of Kelleher and try to bend it into the net, but Kelleher comes out so fast and so big, and shuts it down, and it's just, I love to see it. There's nothing.
He reads the pass so well and he's brave. He just showed his bravery that this is where the ball is going to be. Get one touch, smash. You're straight into him. You don't let him. Sorry, you don't let him breathe. If that was a striker, even that Daniel Sturridge at the end of the game, when they were analysing it, a striker takes that around the keeper. Or a striker slots that through the keeper's legs because the keeper
recognizes that he's already too committed, and there's
not even recognize it. Has the anticipation that I know that the keeper is right up me. I have to do this.
That keeper was fucking right up him, Kev. He was right up him, Kev.
Oh yeah, but it was like he could see a mile away where the pass was coming from. We all could see it. It was just a case that Gallagher didn't have the instincts of a striker to know what to do in that situation. Kelleher, as Madge says there, Kelleher is an intelligent keeper. Makes all the difference. Yeah, he just reads it really well. Plus, you've got the calmness of his distribution, the ability that he is the extra, he is the sweeper, the ultimate sweep. He's a modern day sweeper keeper that has learned from the best. and has taken that on to develop into. I mean, Klopp said he's the best number 2 goalkeeper in the world. Find me a better one. You know, he's an outstanding keeper. I was laughed at when I said that I wouldn't accept anything less than 45 million for him at the end of last season.
That's higher than I would have gone.
And
I would have said 30.
But I still wouldn't, at his age and his ability and what he's achieved so far in the game, I wouldn't accept anything less than 45 million pound for a keeper of that quality, especially the fact that he's homegrown, has all the potential in the world to be one of the best keepers in the world. Wouldn't give you a penny back on 45 million pound. I think he's an outstanding keeper.
There's a comment from Shaz earlier
in
in the show.
No word of a lie. He is my man of the match for today, by the way. He is my man of the match for today.
He was also mine. He was also mine. Yeah. I just thought at the moment that Kelleher made his biggest contributions to the match, we were losing. If Kelleher doesn't make his contributions, like if Virgil doesn't score his goal, it goes to penalties, and then who the fuck knows what happens in penalties? Literally, that would have been what Chelsea's coaching staff would have been saying, because they would have looked at the players we had available to take penalties today and went, we have no data. We don't know where they might kick it. We don't even know what foot these kids are. It's literally a bunch of children out there on the pitch. So I thought the same thing, Shaz, was the save was like Dudek from the Champions League final. It was so important for him to be making those saves. And the one against Palmer, Kev, this might be over egging it a tiny little bit, but it gave me a lot of the same feelings I got. Do you remember the save that Allison made against Almiron when we were 1-0 down at Newcastle earlier this year?
Yeah.
It gave me a lot where you look at it and you're like, you have no right to save that. He kicked that ball so fucking hard. It should have broken the bones in your arm. You shouldn't be allowed to save it. It should just go in the net, and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. I love it because it's literally the only thing that this performance does for Quaveen Kelleher, besides making him more of a cult hero for us. He might be our biggest cult hero goalkeeper. He may have overtaken Jersey Dudek. I know the Champions League final is a much bigger thing than this, but this is 3 domestic cup finals.
He's this generation's first.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day,
all this is doing, every match he plays because Allison is out injured, is an extra 1-2 million on his transfer fee because he's going in the summer.
Yeah, look, everything that I look at, every save that he makes me think our name is on this. You know, who's going to put their hand up and be that guy? You know, because he did make some outstanding saves, made some unbelievable decisions given the context of the game and where we were in it.
Well, they have a moment just before full time ends, Kev. It's on 2 minutes of injury time. And all I have written down is how do they not score with 6 question marks? And then Ibu, Kelleher, Gomez, Kelleher in sequence all stop the ball from going into our net in the maddest of goal mouth scrambles that you've ever seen. And because I was kind of the same, it's like it felt like we were destined to not win this game. It felt like all the calls have gone against us. The rub of the green has gone against us. We've lost another one of our senior midfielders of all the positions on the pitch to lose another player to in Gravenberch. We've got nothing but kids to bring onto the pitch. Like there's no way we can win this game. And then they get this mad goal mouth scramble. And it feels like one of those where somebody just kicks the ball, it goes off the back of Kanate or Van Dijk, or, you know, Kelleher flaps at it and it goes in, and Chelsea ride off victorious in the sunset with their trophy. It doesn't go in. And we get to the end of regular time and it was pens, right, Kev? Like you thought
at that point,
yeah.
At that point, I mean, at the end of the day, they came in, they finished that second half so strong that I just thought, get Klopp to get around these kids, give them not a rocket, but just give them a bit of confidence. Like, you know, you deserve to be here. You know, you're not just attending. It's not like you're there to make up the numbers. This is your final, and it's up to you however you want to play it. And I just thought, okay, let's just see how the first 5 minutes goes. But a special word for the traveling cop today at Anfield South. My God, the noise that they made in that game today was unbelievable. And the belief that crept into them as the first period of extra time started, when they saw how we were playing and they saw how the kids were playing, it was just a wall of noise from then on. It was an absolute wall of noise. It's like some you'd hear at Anfield when the floodlights are on a European night. That was where it was on a par. It was a thing of beauty to watch that extra time play out, because we just literally had our arse handed to us for the last 15 minutes of that second half. And we regrouped, regathered, and absolutely dominated. We broke their hearts in the first half of extra time. Absolutely broke them. And this is a squad that has been put together with £1 billion of absolute potential superstars, so say. And here we are with kids from the academy who are finding their way in the professional game. And the likes of Luis Diaz blowing an absolute gasket.
Oh my goodness, Kev. I have it written down here at about 13 minutes of the first half of added on time of Luis Diaz is completely gassed. He literally couldn't run anymore. He could not run anymore. He was done.
Yeah.
You know who wasn't done though, Kev? Was fucking Virgil van Dijk, because 12 and a half minutes, A+ defending. Covering over for Ibu Konate. No, I think Konate might have been off. Konate was still on.
No. Konate was still on.
Yeah, so Konate was trying to deal with Mudryk. Mudryk came on for Nicholas Jackson just before added time in the original 90 minutes. The nomenclature is all getting hard because, again, I've drank a bottle of champagne since we started the show. I thought Ibu did so well in that game. Like, it was clearly the target of Chelsea. If they were going to have any joy, it was going to be targeting that right wing, right center half area, that half space in there. And Ibu Konate got into some races that I thought when you first see it, the ball comes over the top and it bounces awkwardly, and you see it's Nicholas Jackson against Ibu Konate. He's going to win this easy. And then all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, he didn't win it at all. But then he recovers, he wins it easily. But towards the end of the first half of added time, Virgil van Dijk makes a couple of clearances in our box where it's, to me, I know it's not a real thing, but that's a captain saying on the pitch with his play, with his performance, fuck that. We're done. They're not scoring. We're done. And Virgil van Dijk was a monster today, Kev.
Yeah.
Defensively.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned earlier of just the simple thing of just lamp it out for a throw-in. Who gives a shit? Yeah, you could do something cute and it might create a break where we can go up the other end and maybe try to create a chance. But the safe thing to do, the smart thing to do, the correct thing to do is to just kick it into the Z row and we start over from a throw-in. And I was so fucking nervous, Kev. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm normally so positive in this, but I looked at the players we had on the pitch and it was just like, I don't see how we score a goal. Like, it's going to penalties. I said it at the end of the 90 minutes. I might have said it at halftime of it feels like it's going to penalties. And to me, there was no way this game wasn't going to finish like all the recent Liverpool-Chelsea Cup Finals finish, 0-0, penalty.
Yeah, it was playing out that way. Look, they were quite happy to try to sit in and play for the counters. You know, that's all they had by the end of it. You know, and we were sat there. We did everything we could to try to score and try to get something on it. There was the one cross that came in that was a cross that came in. I think it was Virgil headed it back for the one that Virgil headed it back for Dan's to head over, and he just headed went out for a corner.
What a moment that would have been.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you forget this kid is big, and he got up. You know, it needed saving. It was one of them, like. But I honestly felt there was only one team gonna do something in that half because we were the only side looking to play football. You know, Chelsea had decided at full time by the look of them they put everything into that last 15 minutes of the game. They emptied the tank at this stage, and we'd made the changes, and we just went again. We bossed the ball. We were playing football. We dominated possession, and we looked like we were working half chances. So you get to the end of the first period of extra time, you're like, can they do it again? Have Chelsea been like storing themselves to give them one final push? But no, we just kept out, and we just did it again.
Wait,
You know,
the halftime of the added time, Kev, is a brilliant substitution. I don't think we had any other options left. I guess Kumas or Trey Neone could have come on, or maybe Adrian could have come on. But we had our last roll of the dice. You get the 6th substitution to use when there's added time. We take Konate off, who had been under a ton of pressure on a yellow card, and we bring on another academy kid to end the game with 7 youth products on the pitch for us in a fucking.
And the first, remember the first thing he had to do?
I might not.
Straight from the kickoff, he was charged down by Nkunku. I think it was Nkunku, and he was charged down. They knew how the kickoff routine worked, and it looked like Nkunku had a run. He timed a run for the referee's whistle, and he almost got there. And Kwanzaa just shifted the ball to the side and just carried on, as if like it was a season pro. It was just didn't phase him.
I missed that one. Antoango asked if Jaden Dan is really 18. He's big. What was it, Kev? 10 inches in 8 months, or 8 inches?
Something like that, yeah. Something like he's put on nearly a foot, and
he grew almost so much that he should almost switch sports to NBA. Like if you're gonna grow at 18, 19 years old, if you're gonna grow a foot, you should probably be playing basketball.
The thing is with Jaden Dan's and of just cautionary thing with him, I think he could have the same issues as Curtis Jones at the same age,
baby. Growing pains.
As Steven Gerrard at the same age when they're
Cade Gordon.
He'll need to be managed.
Yep.
His minutes will need to be managed. The medical department with the coaches will have to work on a physical set for him. And I'm sure they will. Nail down 100% that they will. They'll work with him to make sure that his body and his muscle mass catches up with his growth. But he was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
Our man, let's see if I can do this. Oshin?
Oh,
for fuck's sakes. I'm going to call him McGlinchey for the rest of the time. Yeah. McGlinchey says, that's a man now, not a boy, Kwanzaa. No fear in him. And Thor, the dyslexic polyglot, says, talking about this Chelsea team, they cost $1 billion. And they literally did cost $1 billion. Olivier, with some more breaking news, Moises Caicedo has requested a meeting with Chelsea management to be explained the project one more time. One more time. I mean, it didn't go well for him. Kev, the second minute of second half added time in the game, James McConnell makes what will literally be the dictionary definition of a blue card tackle. It was the most perfectly cynical, 100%. Professional foul, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it because they were breaking on us, and James McConnell just went, I'll take my yellow fucking rectangle, please, Chris Kavanaugh. And
thank you very much. And let me just get back here. I know it's coming, but that was a proper professional foul.
Loved it.
That literally is the dictionary definition of a professional foul, of a tactical foul.
Well, Chris Brack, if you don't just know how to rain on a fucking title parade here. Wataru Endo has walked out of Wembley in a cast and crutches. He injured his ankle in a tussle with Moises Caicedo. He becomes the 13th injured player for Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool from Paul Gorst, but we're giving all the blame to Chris Brack.
That's a tomorrow problem. That's a tomorrow problem.
That's a very good point. I did I did sneak off to grab myself another beer because
one of those things. we've got walking wounded. We knew that we had walking wounded. It is what it is. We'll deal with it Wednesday.
Chelsea make the final change of the entire match. 12 substitutions between the two teams. Trevoh Chalobah comes on for Ben Chilwell, who was lucky to still be on the pitch at this point in the 22nd minute of added time. Tsimikas has a shot at Petrovic. It's nothing. Madueke has a half chance. He wastes it. At the 25th minute, I'm saying this game is walking pace now. And it felt like both teams just went, let's do penalties. Like we're all tired. Nobody has any changes left to make. The guys that Chelsea brought on are fucking garbage in terms of especially Mudryk, but I don't mind Madueke. I think Madueke might be a half decent player, especially because I got him for a half decent price. And then shortly after that, I have, how do we not score? Harvey Elliott has a header that hits the post, and Axel Disasi, who I think is garbage. I don't think he's a very good defender at all. I think he's slow. I think he's a bit stupid. Apologies to the Disasi family, I guess. He does just enough to block Jayden Danns from having the greatest day of his very young senior career. It's going to penalties, Kev. It's just going to penalties. Yeah. If you're 5 minutes left in added time and you can't score
that was the chance. I felt that was the chance. Harvey did everything he could. He got the header back. He got it on target. The keeper made a really good save. Really good save because he got a leg on it. And the ball just dropped into no man's land. And you just wanted someone. You'd see this in hurling a lot. Where like you just take the man, the ball, everything, and you clean house. You just wanted someone to come in and just lash it. But look, they got something on it. Like we did many times in that second half. Someone got something on it and got it away. And I thought that was the chance. That was it.
Yeah,
I started going in my head. Then I was like, who's left on the pitch? Who's going to take the pens?
Literally nobody. Literally, it's children. It's we thought we might have a special guest appearance from Liverpool legend Alan Hansen, but he decided to not call in tonight after the audacity of "you'll never win anything with kids" was proven incorrect once again. But Rory Fitzgerald, one of our YouTube members, says a 2.95 xG prevented by Kelleher with his 9 saves, and that might be one of the most staggering statistics I've ever seen, Kev. If Quiveen Kelleher saved 3 full goals tonight, he's the man of the match. He's the man of the match.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the thing is, they were good chances. They were really good chances that he had to save. It was easily the best performance of his career between the sticks, and you know. He deserves it. He deserves all the credit that's going to come his way for it.
As it turns out, the whole country, Kev. I mean, he's from your neck of the woods, Kev. That's
he is.
Boy right there. Up the Irish as people of the mouse. I mean,
he's got a serious career ahead of him. I mean, it's enjoy him while we have him, kind of thing. Because I think he is going to go on to do something. I mean. I hope to God he does stay. I genuinely do. And if he does stay, we're the ultimate winners. But at the end of the day, he pulled out one of the most special performances for a goalkeeper that you're ever likely to see. And
which Kev,
he was outstanding. He was brilliant.
You know how crazy that is to say when he scored the winning penalty in a cup final. You know,
I know.
Quiveen Kelleher has not played enough games to be deserving of the praise that Liverpool fans heap upon him and that Jurgen Klopp heaps upon him. Like, I imagine for outside fans looking in, they're like, he's just a backup goalkeeper. But if you look at the games and the big moments that Quiveen Kelleher has for Liverpool Football Club, he has scored the winning penalty in a cup final shootout and has saved, if Rory Fitzgerald is to believed, 3 full expected goals worth in another cup final. And that is, I take a fucking bow. I mean, Kev, you're the only Cork resident, as far as I'm concerned, that's on here. So you get all the credit. Congratulations, Kev. Congratulations.
he was outstanding. But the best moment of the whole game. Talk about justice. Talk about justice for Virgil van Dijk. Because captain's performance merited what happened with that goal. He got the Costas went out, and this was it. 118th minute. There wasn't going to be much left. It was literally a case of this or penalties, and Costas went out, gave the signal, put the ball in with pace. And Virgil got the run, and he ended up being with Mudryk trying to mark him.
Which is a fucking terrible defensive plan. Pochettino,
Exactly.
get your head out of your fucking ass.
But this is what happens when you make loads of changes. That it was always going to be a possibility that there'll be a mix-up somewhere, and he got the run. He got the run on the Chelsea defenders, got ahead of Mudryk, angled the ball away from the keeper. Brilliant goal. A brilliant finish. And it was literally a case of take that one off us. Go ahead and try and take that one off us. You did everything you could to try to make sure we didn't win that. And Virgil comes up with an absolute bullet of a goal. Poetic justice, as Oisin says there. Poetic. It had to be the captain, leading his young followers to the ultimate glory. It was an outstanding goal, and it's the perfect time. If you're going to score a goal in extra time,
3 minutes.
make it in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah,
not in the first 2 minutes. Make it in the last 2 minutes, because we broke their hearts in the first period of extra time. They were done. When that went in, their shoulders dropped. Pochettino stood there like I've carried Spurs with me.
Their backs broke like Bane picked Batman up. It was completely over for Chelsea at that point. It was fucking celebration time. And if we didn't have a half an hour wait from the end of the match to when we started, that's when I would have popped the bottle of Buck and Bubbly that I got with me right now. But I waited until the show started. I mean, it wasn't even fair. The matchup from that set piece. I mean, we get Simicast throwing it in. Somebody said here, I have so many saved comments. There's no way I can keep them all straight. Somebody said that the word is that Klopp told Simicast when he came onto the pitch that you're going to win this for us. And Simicast throws the ball in, and there was no fucking way Virgil van Dijk wasn't scoring, Kev. Oh, it makes it so good. And then it gets to that point after that ball nestles into the back of the net very sweetly that all we have to do is just hold out 3-4 minutes tops. 3-4 minutes tops. And we do it so intelligently and so, this is a weird word to use in this case, but maturely. Because we had a team of fucking children on the pitch. Children on the pitch.
Look, I'll be honest, right? They were done. They didn't have any method in how they were trying to attack us. It was, I don't know where he found 3 minutes from. Absolutely no clue where he found 3 minutes. And it became hit and hope. It would have been very easy for us to just live in the moment, and start trying to run before you walked type of thing with like 2 minutes. Well, it's still 5 minutes to go. But, we, like you said, we managed it really well. I don't think they had a shot or anything in that time. I think they had a corner that was cleared. And other than that, we absolutely, I mean, Chelsea will argue that they had the better chances. Doesn't matter. We took our goal when it came, and we ended up, I think we were deserving winners for the bravery that we showed on that pitch. The fact that I said this before, I did a preview of this yesterday with Darren from Daz TV, and I said, imagine if we go and do this without Salah, without Szoboszlai,
never give up, Kev. Never give up.
It was like I mean, this achievement is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. When you look at, I mean, Chelsea had a week to prepare for this. We had a game midweek that we had to pull it out the fire in the second half and put a proper shift in. This is our third game in 8 days, with more or less the same core group of 13 players playing in those 3 games in 8 days. We've gone 120 minutes against a Chelsea side littered with multi-million pound signings, and we beat them with a patched up 11 supplemented by a group of players trying to find their way in the game, along with a Joe Gomez who was maligned by our own fans in the last 12 months, and a Kostas Tsimikas who, you know, we were all selling in the summer. The achievement of this side, of this squad, so proud of it, being a Liverpool fan, but I'm so proud of that squad of players, because what they've done is the first leg of a potential quad. They've started the ball rolling, and you could see what it means to them when, with the trophy lift, with the way they celebrated, with the way they went to the away end, or to the Liverpool fans at the end of the game. This could be the start of something really special. And as Gav said at the very start of this, we could be winning the lot here. So soak this up and enjoy it.
Get the fuck on board. Exactly.
If you can't enjoy this, then I don't know. I don't know. I mean, this is
if you don't have empty bottles of champagne at the end of your season, are you really watching fucking football? People, come on. It feels, I don't know, Kev. Destiny. It makes like Gene Wilder in a scene from Young Frankenstein.
I can't wait to watch this game back. I want to watch the game back without the pressure of watching it live. Do you know what I mean? I want to be able to soak this up.
About pressure?
About that.
It's the best Ace Ventura quote I could pull out at the time. I mean,
mental. I haven't enjoyed a final like that in a long time. It's right up there. It's right up there for me.
It's a comment that I saw from a lot of fucking people coming through. So I'm going to try to get through some of the saved comments that I have from the start of the show. So this is from over an hour ago. You saying, I just set a world record for 120-minute panic attacks. Drunk Vigo. Endo keeps dunking on all the haters. Ashley L, and this might be my favorite. I love the full circle narrative of Klopp fucking off the Kop with kids to winning the cup with kids. Just amazing. Bob Paddock, again, this might be the best, the most fitting. Endo and Virgil, everything connected together from that. Yeah. So now I've got my favorite part of the whole show, Kev, which is my Ashley L post-match quotes. Oh, wait, that's the first one. I'm all discombobulated. Luis Diaz says, I dedicate this title to my mom and dad. They are here for everything they have been through. It makes this title so much more special, which if you know the story behind what happened to Luis Diaz's parents, that hits like a fucking ton of bricks, like a ton of bricks. Virgil van Dijk on the kids, all the young boys on the pitch. If you see the extra time, it's incredible. I'm so proud of the team. The legs were fresh, but very young. They did the job. Yeah, very young, Virgil. Very young. There's no doubt about that. I'm so proud I could be a part of that. Wow, we deserved it. A tough game. The boys showed up. And I mean, I thought Bobby Clark flagged massively towards added time, Kev. But I mean, Jaden Dans kept on running. James McConnell, a brilliant yellow card, but he kept on running. Harvey fucking Elliott. And there's people in this chat that watch these shows that me and you and others do on the regular that are not big Harvey Elliott fans. You watched him, right? Harvey Elliott was fucking great for Liverpool tonight. He played 100. Actually, there's a quote from Ashley L. Klopp after the match says Harvey Elliott played 120 minutes. How? Just this is
Harvey is every single one of us. Make no mistake. You know, he is a Liverpool fan through and through. He knows what it means to us, and we know what it means to him. It's everything for him. Everything. This kid is not even turned 21 yet. The sky. I mean, people talk about Phil Foden, they talk about Cole Palmer and what have you. This kid has the potential to be right up there, and I'm just delighted that nobody's talking about it. That we're seeing it, and the longer that nobody's talking about it, the fucking better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Gareth Southgate can keep the name Harvey Elliott 10,000 fucking miles from his mouth, as far as I'm concerned. Ashley goes on with some quotes from Klopp after the match. You will need to smash the smile off my face. Absolutely insane what happened here tonight. We have a team, squad, academy full of character. People maybe thought I had given up when I brought the kids on, but no. It was because we needed legs, and they did the job. Together, we created this. The boys have trained for a long time with us, and they know exactly what they have to do. And Kev, if that doesn't sum up the Carabao Cup Final from a Liverpool fan perspective, I don't know what does, because those kids were brought on under the most high-pressure situation you can possibly have to come on for Liverpool Football Club at that age and at that experience. And every single fucking one of them stood up and was counted.
Yeah, they won't realize what they've done until much later in their career. Much later down the line, when wherever they're going to be in 5 years' time, they'll look back at this and think this will bring them on leaps and bounds. It's the confidence that they'll get from this monumental. They were brilliant, and there's no words. I don't have a vocabulary to describe their performance. I just don't have it. But they were just outstanding. To a man, they're not boys anymore. They're not children anymore. To a man, they were brilliant.
Well, not after tonight, Ken. They might have been boys in our estimations before tonight.
Yeah.
But if you get brought on in a fucking League Cup final when the score is 0-0 and there's a couple minutes left to play, and you end up going home with a stupidly 3-handled trophy, which, by the way, is not the correct number of handles for a trophy. 3 handles is just wrong.
Yeah.
But those boys get to grab right into men tonight. Ashley goes on to say, Klopp talking about Queeveen Kelleher. What a mature performance. We have the best goalkeeper in the world, and we have the best number 2 in the world. He says, the referee did not have the level of the game. It was not even a foul on Gravenberch. What? I saw the video. It has everything you need for a card. I hope it's not bad. So, yeah, no kidding. Klopp goes on to say, he says, these things don't happen in football. I heard this English phrase, you don't win anything with kids. It is easily the most special trophy I ever won. Overwhelming feeling, proud of everybody. I could care less about my legacy. I am not here to create one. You already have, boss man. We are here to do the job. We learn so much. It's not a problem if the manager leaves, only if the people leave. But if our supporters stay like they are, Liverpool Football Club will be fine. And I mean, give me a fucking break, Jurgen. Come on, man. But then Kev, to dampen our expectations, he says, I have no idea who we can play Wednesday.
No idea. Not a clue. Don't care. Couldn't give a fiddler's.
Fucking matter.
Doesn't matter. Pretty sure that by the time Gav comes on Tuesday night with whoever comes on with him, they'll have an idea who's going to be available to do what, and they'll do a preview they'll do an ultimate review of this weekend, and tell us some stories about Liverpool this weekend. And enjoy tonight. Enjoy tomorrow. Get your sick note ready for tomorrow. Or if there's Chelsea fans in work, make sure you're going into work. Make sure you've got your zingers armed to the teeth.
Yeah, if you need to take an Uber tomorrow to work, if you work with the Chelsea fan, you get to work tomorrow. Even if you have to go home after a couple of hours, you get those digs in because they fucking deserve it, because we literally finished the game with a bunch of children on the pitch. Maurizio Pochettino on extra time said the players started to lose their energy. The team felt maybe penalties would be good for us. Chile felt really, really we needed to change. The effort was massive. Whereas Jurgen Klopp says the development of Bobby Clark's, whoops, that's really crazy. James McConnell, insane. Jaden Dan's only recently joined first team training. I loved him from the first moment I saw him. Play the kids against Southampton. Klopp said Mo should be back for the weekend. Looking Darwin steeplechase at the end, he should be fine too. So, I mean, yeah, Kev, we go on. It's an FA Cup.
Yeah.
I don't even know, 113th round match that we
Fifth
have
round.
on Wednesday.
5th round of home to Southampton. Listen, Southampton will have watched this and they'll fancy an upset, no doubt in my mind. And hard to blame them not thinking that. But look, we'll know within 48 hours, because this is going to be. They'll enjoy tonight, they'll recover tomorrow, and they'll probably just have a light run out on Tuesday. We'll get an idea from the press conference on Tuesday who's what where, and we'll go again. I mean, I think that this FA Cup 5th round fixture is potentially the hardest fixture we're going to play in this running, given the shift that this squad has put in to that final.
Kev, we have City at home in
Yeah, I'm not worried about that because we'll have bodies back for that. And that's an easy
boy.
game. But that's an easy game to get up for. That's an easy game to be primed for and have a hostile atmosphere and really, really tear into. This one on Wednesday night is a real tricky one, and you just want to get this one out of the way. So we'll find out on Tuesday. I'm pretty sure there'll be a show on Tuesday night, and we'll definitely give whoever's on, we'll give a good run through exactly what's going on, and we'll see where we are.
Our good friend Chris Brack has absolutely hit it on the nosy. Beating Southampton is very important. It gets us to the next round, but more importantly, it will move the derby with Everton to later in the season when we have a fuller squad. So, yeah potentially it could be the penultimate game of the season?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, the midweek before we play Wolves at home, which is just, can you imagine a midweek game where we could win the title and Everton could fucking go down? It would just be something else. I'm going to quickly run through. I mean, we have blasted through our usual hour allotment for this show, but guess what?
We will wrap up in a few minutes, though.
Yeah, Gav is on the cans, Emmett's on the cans, Keith's on the cans, Shawnee's on the cans. You're getting no Sunday night show tonight. This is the best you're going to get, so we are absolutely going to milk it. Ashley L with more Klopp quotes. Klopp on Endo says, a good development, huh? We were lucky we bring him in. I'm sure in 3-4 years he will sign another long-term contract at Liverpool. He's a machine. His brain is outstanding. Kev, Wataru Endo, I likened him to the internal gears of a clock, in a wristwatch after the Luton match. What a fucking performance, Kev, because I'm not going to lie, when he first started being dribbed and drabbed into the Liverpool team, he was not playing 90s. And we were wondering, does he have the engine to go 90? No, he's got the engine to go 120, Kev, in a cup final.
Yeah, he was really good. Gav gave him at the start of the show. Gav gave him man of the match. Wouldn't disagree with it. I wouldn't disagree. I thought he was everywhere. He's because of his age, he knows his position inside out. He's seen it and done it at the bottom end of the Bundesliga for a good few years. When he was at Stuttgart, I think he was relegated, or they were in the 2nd division. And he got promoted with them, and he struggled with them when he would have been a busy boy, kept him in the league, and at the end of the day, when you've got someone like that, he's a national captain, 30 years of age, knows what he needs to do and where he needs to be. It was all about confidence at the start. Get him up to the pace of the Premier League. You've seen it with Rodri at Man City. Rodri's first year at Man City, he looked a fish out of water. Since then, he is the best number 6 in the world,
Rodri can eat a bag of dicks,
but it takes time. Bag. It takes time to adapt to this league. Wataru Endo has done that in a few months, and he just looks at home in that position.
I said it in the Telegram group. If you don't love what Wataru Endo does for Liverpool, you don't know ball. And I've only heard that phrase. I don't actually know what it means, so I'm just kind of parroting things that I've heard on the internet.
You're there.
But fuck me, if you don't appreciate the work that this fucking guy does wearing a mouth guard / gum shield, he is so Kev, I have to hold my hands up. I was a full-on Andre convert.
Yeah.
I thought Andre was exactly what this Liverpool team needed to just take them to the next level. And fucking Wataru Endo is doing almost all of those things. He doesn't have the long, medium range passing that's incisive and creates attacking opportunities. He doesn't have that. But the ability of this defensive midfielder to take the ball under pressure with an opposition player on his back and turn them and get us going towards fucking goal is it is not what I thought we were getting from a 31-year-old Japanese international from Stuttgart who finished last season 16th in the Bundesliga or 15th in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, he's just developed his game. I mean, the thing, when you, like I said, when you're buying someone at that age in that position who knows his position inside out, it allows everyone to work off him. He's literally the linchpin in the midfield that allows everyone else to go and do what they need to do. We didn't even talk about Alexis McAllister today. I'm not going to go into it.
Hey, Kev, how much better is Alexis McAllister as playing as a midfielder than the guy that cost 3 times his fucking transfer value from the same country as Enzo Fernandez?
If you're Tom Bowley, you have to be looking at the recruitment of your squad and asking what the hell is the point of what he's just done, because it's unbelievable. I mean, you go back through Klopp's quotes. It's unreal what this squad has done today. Unreal. You know, it shouldn't happen in any other sport. This doesn't happen. I know that Liverpool are top of the league and we're flying in all competitions, but we are threadbare. We are.
And as Ashley L points out, that's us demonetized tonight. Then fuck the demonetization. Ashley, you were here from the very start. You saw how lit up Gav's fucking cheeks were out on the town in Liverpool tonight. Emmett is asleep. Emmett's asleep somewhere at May Duncan's tonight. It doesn't matter anymore.
If you're going through an hour and 40 minutes of any show that we've done ever, guarantee you, there's never a penny made. Never a penny made. But
Kev, all right, you pointed
we're
it out.
Absolutely here for it.
We have been on YouTube for far too long tonight. Who's your man of the match?
I still stick with Kevin Kelleher because I think his saves literally keep us in it in vital moments. His decision making at the end for closing off Gallagher, for the ability to to read the pass, two, given the context of the game, the bravery to be there.
Get big.
Yeah, he was for me man of the match, but there is too many honourable names to mention. You know, it was Endo, it was Virgil, Konate. To a man, every single one of them. I thought every single one of them today did themselves proud. And they can look back on this performance in years to come and say, yeah, we did something special. You know, and that's what we did. We did something special. That is special. Yeah. If you're not enjoying this, I don't know what to say to you.
Yeah, it's the first of what we hope will be 4 trophy lifts throughout this season.
Yeah,
but if it's in the worst case scenario, it's the only trophy lift. It's a fucking pretty good one. And as Johnny Doyle says, she's just seen Gav outside of Goodison Park calling out lads for a fight. Chris Brack says VVD for me, captain's performance. Endo and Kelleher very, very close. I agree with Kev. I think it was Kelleher. He was just when you absolutely fucking needed him to be there. Kevin Kelleher was right there in a bright, I don't even know what color shirt he was wearing tonight. Green, gray, toxic tangerine, something like that. It doesn't fucking matter because you know what, Kev? At the end of the night, we lifted a fucking stupid 3-handled trophy. And that's all that matters, Kev, is that in terms of chasing any sort of potential quads, the first fucking stumbling block you can have, like Man City learned last season, was losing to Southampton in the League Cup. You can't win a quad if you don't win the first fucking one off the ranks. And we've put that fucking trophy in the cabinet for us, which is number
10.
Is 10? 10?
10 league. It's a record 10.
10?
It's a
That's
record
a
10 league cups.
A
Yeah, it's a record 10
record.
league cups.
10 fucking league cups. McGlinchey says 10th time Carabao Cup champion, stopping City getting closer to us. Fuck Man City. All their fucking titles are going to have big fucking asterisks beside them. Just you wait. Red Steve with the shout of the night, man of the match. Player of the match is Ashley L for the quotes tonight. Ashley L.
Yeah, thanks, Ashley. Really appreciate it.
You are
Really,
noted
really
in your
appreciate it.
absence. I'm not going to lie to you, Kev O'Sullivan. I'm pretty fucking hammered. I've been drinking heavily for a fair number of hours now. And you want to know why I did that, Kev? It's because we lifted the fucking League Cup at Wembley, Anfield South, my man. Kev, this is why we do the shows, right?
Yeah, this is it. I mean, at the end of the day, this. I didn't care how this game finished.
I did.
No, through extra time, I didn't care because I was so proud of everything, of the way that we were playing, the shift that we put in. I text message to Chris about a minute before we scored. Say, I don't give a fuck. I'm just so proud of this side. I'm so proud of this squad and what they've achieved and what they've done in this game. It doesn't matter how it finishes. I don't care. And within 30 seconds, Virgil scored. I fucking didn't care, really. I couldn't wait to get on there then. Yeah, I couldn't. Oh, no, I love not. Normally, we come live, we get on live as soon as we could. You know, within a few. I love the fact that we were able to sit and watch the trophy lift, take it all in.
Kev,
everything.
Maybe it's just somebody from across the Atlantic Ocean's opinion on it, but can you stop lifting a fucking trophy for the very first time on a stupid ass balcony? That's stupid, right? I'm not crazy thinking that, right? I get the history, but it's fucking stupid.
No, I think it's one of the only stadiums in world football that's had it, and it is tradition. It's anyone can put a stage on the pitch, and it's contrived. Walking up the Wembley steps is from people my era, my age, is when Wembley was literally only used for finals. Walking up the Wembley steps is everything. You know, and
yeah, but Kev, it's not really fair to ask our team to walk up the Wembley steps when fucking 9 of them are on crutches and protective boots.
I don't think they really minded. I don't think they really minded.
We fucking won, baby.
I think they bounced up there. They absolutely bounced up there today.
This is my favorite fucking comment from the resident Irish English teacher, Madge Apple, who is a member. And if you're not a fucking member, I highly suggest you become a member because there's a pretty good chance that we are going to get a very happy post-cup winning members-only show, 30 possibly, from Gavin Emmett. And you're only going to get that if you hit the notification bell, you are a subscribed member to the channel, but I cannot wait for the documentary to come out now. Yeah. For fuck's sakes, Kev. I wasn't a big fan of the whole fly on the wall documentary thing, but if we're going to get one, this is the year to get one.
This is the year to get one because I think this squad is capable of doing something special. It genuinely is. You know, for all of us who might not have been aboard, who might not have been on the train, we're on the train now. And
fucking rights, Kev. 96 fucking points.
Yeah, today's the first leg. You know, it was huge.
That's
Johnny's
right.
A gifted Talkin Kop membership. Grab it while it's there.
Who's gonna get it? Who's gonna get it? Who's gonna get it? Andy Kaufman. I think this is Andy Kaufman's second gifted membership. Andy, you can fucking afford to buy a membership. They're €4 a month. They're €4 a month. Come on, get into it. And if you know what? Actually, Andy Kaufman should be the first person that goes down into the description of the show and clicks on the GoFundMe link to our 2024 charity fundraiser partner, which is Fans Supporting Food Banks and the Lighthouse Cafe in Dublin, and give them a $5 or a $10. Please give a $5 or a $10 to our charity partners. That would be absolutely... I'm sorry, Kev. I just saw your private message to me right now. From 20. Yes, we've got to get out of here. Please link to all the charities in the description of the podcast, into the description of the YouTube show. Fan supporting food banks, the Dublin Lighthouse, Phil Casey's crazy 5 different endurance marathons. Please become a member. It's all been very well and good. Kev, my man, thank you so much for doing this for me tonight. We are going to have a few more of these tonight, aren't we?
Oh yeah, we're going to be back again on Wednesday night for sure after the Southampton game. But until then, enjoy it. Enjoy this. Soak it up. You know, hopefully people have been taking names, keeping receipts. Tonight's the night to dish it out.
Tonight's the night. In terms of Neil Young lyrics, it cannot get any better than that. Tonight's the night. Liverpool end up walking out of Anfield South with a stupid 3-handled trophy for the record 10th time. Kev O'Sullivan, you are absolutely brilliant. I love you. Everybody that's been here in the chat, you are all half decent at the absolute minimum. Hit the like button on your way out. You people have all been very good. Donate to our charity partners. Donate to Phil Case's charity. Go to footballprizes.co.uk. Become a member of the channel. Hey, Kev, we won the fucking League Cup tonight. I'm hammered. I won't speak for anybody else. It has been a very, very good Sunday afternoon for this motherfucker right here. Liverpool have won the League Cup. The Jurgen Klopp farewell tour is off to an absolutely barnstorming start. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We'll see you on the next show. Adios.